My name is Justin Plakas. I'm originally from Rockville, Maryland. I came to the Bemis from New Mexico. I've been here since May 16th, and I'm leaving on August 13th. Essentially, I come from I would say like a film, video, photography, and then kind of morphed into digital imaging kind of background. So I think I've had this move towards, or this want for this like physicality, like this kind of like wanting to be able to touch these things that I'm creating kind of like that are largely digital. And so when I proposed to come here, my proposal was to take some of the things that were happening within these 2D images that I was creating, that were dealing with landscape and these kind of like unnatural interruptions in the landscape, and come here and kind of create this body of work that is completely physical. You know, these images dealt with sometimes these like monumental structures, and for me the idea was to come here and maybe kind of do something that mimicked those monumental structures, but maybe play with the scale and actually give myself the opportunity to make something that's physical, but even like kind of small, but still like gesturing towards those monumental structures, if that makes sense. You know, it's like some of the same language of a large sculpture in these kind of small pieces. So when I first came here, I was working on, and it was like really a continuation of some of the 2D images that I was creating using an archive from the University of Maryland. And I was kind of reconstructing and like remixing these images, always with the mind of like doing that and then working with these physical objects. But after I got rolling on the physical objects, I just like really, that was all I was interested in working in. So initially I started with wood, and then I moved to plaster and ceramics, as well as cement and hydrocal. And so what I've been doing with these is that I'm like making these different textures happen in plaster, and then taking the wood and kind of putting those together. Or I make something in plaster and part of the plaster a show, and then I like coat the other part of it with this really slick paint. Something that I've always been drawn to, you know, like you start taking photographs or making videos, you're always drawn to light. You know what I mean? It's like you learn to read light in a certain way, and it just becomes a way of seeing the world. And as time went on, I felt like, especially with my early video work, there was always this kind of like objectification of light, or like creating light so that it is almost this like palpable, tangible thing. And I feel like with this texture that I've been working through these small sculptures this summer, light is even more important now, because I notice it's like you make something out of plaster, it's got this really mottled texture. You put it in one light, it's completely flat. I hit it with a light on the other side, all of a sudden there's almost this like landscape that's born on the surface. And so I think it's all coming together, and I think one of the things that I really felt like I kind of abandoned, but I've never really actually done that, was that, like I said, that kind of like manifestation of light within the work and all the work that I make.